This is something the old lady received from her employer for the night. The girl who normally plays the Pink Princess, Mindy, was it again? It seems that this man is quite taken with that actress. But that's not true, Edgy. She's the one with the hots for me. I just know it. I can feel her sexy beam piercing my heart when she's watching me. Sexy beam, I tell you. You filthy, despicable, inconsiderate, fickle, idiotic, cowardly apparition of a man. You haven't matured at all since we last met. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes? This guy. He's got bigger problems than just getting involved in murders, I take it. I suppose you could put it that way. Hey, what the heck, man? I don't get you guys at all. Why do you all have to make me out to be some sort of bad guy? To return to the original topic, I propose that at least this much has been made clear. Without any knowledge of Miss Mindy, or that Miss Mindy had fallen ill, Larry tried to make his way into the Pink Princess's room. That much we know for sure. Hey Edgy, looks like I've got the hang of this court thing now. But we're not in court at the moment. Shut up. Let's see what's going on here. And it looks just like what you do in court. I guess old boy here still has something he'd like to say. Langsy says, until the root of the tongue dries, one never knows the whole truth. You shouldn't form conclusions until everything is out in the open, which is why I'll listen. Alright then, get ready to listen to me defeat Edgy in a battle of wits. Larry, have you forgotten that should I lose your victory, prize would be an arrest? You probably don't realise it, he ain't the smartest tool in the tool shed. I can't stop yawning. Oi. So you think that all I wanted to do was go to visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. And then to top it all off, I became a suspect in the murder. That's what you really meant. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? If it's for a woman, you'd do anything. Hey, someone say something. Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this? Not as a confession, but as testimony? So what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that? So it was you. You're my stalker. But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I'm the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man only, and as long as Edgeworth is alive, I can't just drop in, blah blah blah. Oh boy. I'm so inspired. You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around completely worthless man. I thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. I believe there is nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you've still got something to prove. Still have to show some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say? Remember, Edgy, everything is evidence in court, right? You mean evidence is everything in court? Larry, but I understand your point. Yeah, see? I'm totally a pro at this now. Right, well, if you wish to see the evidence, then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. Oh boy. Right, here we go.
Hold it!
Well, I have been saying that for a while now. After all. Wait, if not for that, then for what other reason did you wish to go down that chimney? You can't say that without any evidence. That's against the rules, Edgy. Looks like keeping the prosecutor in line for me, Mr. Suspect. I have the evidence, and if you wish to see it that badly, I can introduce you to. But it's not good to keep them waiting, my subordinate. Hurry and show them already. Lies, all lies, Edgy. Well, if you wish to lie, then by all means continue. Because I'm ready to expose your lie at a moment's notice. You won't get the better of me. Now let's see. There we go. It made it seem like I wasn't able to press. Thankfully, that ain't the case. Was the smoke coming from the chimney really that thick? You bet, it was so thick I had tears pouring out of my eyes. It was a mess. I see. You do realise that you've just confirmed for us your chimney escapade. What? That's totally unfair. You tricked me, Edgy. Hardly, you simply have yet to master how to counter this cross-examination technique. Well, what I just said was a slip of the... No, I mean, I said the wrong thing. Besides, isn't this what you really meant? Isn't this what you really meant to say about what I did tonight? I don't know. I'm not quite sure how you could mistake that actress for this lady. Oh, Edgy Poo. Are you staring at me? Are you finally succumbing to my feminine charm? I should think that the Steel Samurai is the one who should know all about your charms. What, me? Edgy, what are you trying to do to me? Nothing, simply that the Steel Samurai and the Pink Princess are husband and wife. Oh, is my poor little Edgy Poo jealous? If you could please drop that line of discussion right this instant. But Edgy, I told you, I already have Mindy. Speaking of Mindy, exactly what kind of woman would you say she is? Edgy, are you seriously telling me you don't know about the Mindy? Or who the Mindy is? She's just like what her name means. She's super sweet with a great smile. I don't mean to brag, but she's one of the trope's fastest rising stars. And that was troop, not trope. Interesting. So you're saying a woman like that is what made you late to the speech? Huh? Curse you too. Why is everyone out to make a suspect out of me? Look, all I can say is this. I was late to the speech. Suppose you might be correct in a small way. What do you mean by that? Besides being a suspect in a murder, there are a few other things you are a suspect of. Not you too, Frenzy. You tried to stalk me, but I won't let you intimidate me like that. Look, I already told you, Miss Oldbag, I wasn't after you. I was trying to see Mindy. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, can I just arrest this guy already? I completely understand how you feel, Agent Lang. But wait, please, listen to what I have to say. If you have a serious decision to make, then let's consider listening, however. No problem. I'm gonna put all I've got into this, so listen good, okay? There we go. Here it is. Letter from a stalker. There we go, we got it. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter. Hey, the indie gamer. How's it going? Hey, why are you showing that thing to me? Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight, your loving knight. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend on her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight? Oh, poor Larry. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember a thing. Objection! You can pretend to be ignorant all you like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Miss Mindy a visit. What part of this letter shows that the person Larry had intended to meet was Mindy? The name, because he's illiterate. He can't write. Moosh. I really hope that works. I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again. What the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English. You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became Wendy to the average eye. Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing. There. Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they? For punching. But that will have to wait until we're off of this crime scene. Edgy, save me from the scary man. Sure, if you're willing to make amends. Starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. But it's always been just, you know, hobby of mine. Something I do. It's fun. Passion. Whether or not I get, you know, a following or, you know, loads of views doesn't really matter to me. All I really want to do is just play games and document my experiences. Okay, so that wasn't me. Come again? It's a fake. Someone was out to get me, so they made that letter. To set me up. Yeah, of course, Larry. Yep, sure. Accept your defeat graciously. But you guys are being so mean. Ah, poor guy. Penmanship analysis. What's that? No matter who, all people have certain unique features to their handwriting. Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours. And we'll know soon enough who it was that sent this letter. I'll never write another thing in my life. I love Larry. He's the best. It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight. For you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting. Oh yeah, the autograph, of course. Oh, you silly goose. This autograph and our mysterious letter. If we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure. I'm sorry. I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head. Edgy. So he finally confesses. I saw the pink princess being carried around in a stretcher and got worried, alright? I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy. Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney. What a criminally overactive imagination. Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked when it came down through the chimney. Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment. I'm really, really sorry. Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me. Because, at the very least, I can attest to that about you. Edgy, you are... We've lost a lot of valuable time because of you. Also, hey Camo, how's it going? In any case, I believe we can say that we now know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Butts sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but to enter the room of the elderly lady next door. Great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Although I still find it a bit unbelievable that the two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay? What? Hey, what? Edgy, what does the Wolfman mean when he says, I'm not off the hook yet? I mean, I thought that would be pretty obvious. He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the weapon used was the sword. There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head. That's exactly what I mean. We can't only rely on the words of the suspect, after all. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night, but the blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene, as long as there is no satisfactory explanation for that, this wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite. Edgy, that guy, he looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me. I'm well aware, and you should be as well, that this upcoming battle will be crucial. Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got. I can easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon, but the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble. But this is one game I can't afford to lose. Alright. Why Larry? I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damask II. Beside him was a samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Butts, in here too. Great. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you? If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are longtime friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence? You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. Oh, shit. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. Come on, I can't think up something as complicated as that, right, Edgy? Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you. Or me, for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being. Meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. One thing I notice about this game in particular, it flashes a lot. Why, Larry? Yeah, I don't know why, it's like... it really wants to give me a seizure. Whew. So you were the first to discover the body this time. This time? What's that supposed to mean? You better watch what you say. I only said this time because earlier Kay was the first to discover the body in Babal. And your secretary, Agent Sheena, was ready to accuse her of murder for that. Huh, so are you going to use that excuse to call me suspicious now? Of course not. I was simply pointing out the usual pattern with discoverers of bodies. But in the Babalese case, there was proof that she was holding the weapon, right? Well, in this one, it's a bit different, since we know exactly where the weapon is. Now, glittering red offering up the scent of blood. Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the tests, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty. It's certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. So does he get that added? Beside him with the samurai sword covered in the victim's blood. I suspect he beat the victim to death with that thing. Okay. I don't think so. Even though that does have blood on it, I'm pretty sure what was killed was probably that, considering how bent the bloody thing is. Huh? Do you know what this is, Agent Lang? It's a long spear, right? We used to use those a lot in my country a long time ago. Did you know? Piercing, mowing people down, spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. It's the next most efficient weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So, what's your point? Are you going to tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently, a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier. And as you can clearly see, the insides of the steel samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deal a damaging blow. Let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. Oh, we're basically saying the weapons are hollow. Okay. And yet there is not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that? Oh! Aya! Oh yeah! That sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easily. But I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. The Steel Samurai's special move was changed tonight because of him? Oh my god. Larry just causes issues for literally everybody. That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se. So all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genuine genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken. For no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. No. Their job is to find out the truth, regardless of the outcome. There is nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory. That may be your opinion, however I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards the truth. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damask II without bending it. So, what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need. Of course, what I need is evidence. Even Agent Lang can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Oh boy. Why Larry Part 2. It's possible to use the samurai sword to kill someone. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy, top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? Jeez. How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of the embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned. And we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. That the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is the sword. I have a feeling there's one other place, and it's, in this room. You left no stone unturned. Is that a fact? If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. Oh yeah. It's time to rebuttal. Right, press. Press everything. Oh, pardon me. May I inquire as to how you were able to make such a claim, Agent Lang? Langzy says, capable of miracles beyond comprehension, a mysterious creature is man. Rather than man, it's Agent Lang's quotes that are getting increasingly incomprehensible. The human body is a mysterious thing, even with a toy-like sword. It's easy to kill a man if you hit just the right spot. Which is why I think it's possible to kill... not with this thing, without leaving a dent. I'm not so sure. But we can only be sure one way or the other by seeing if the wound matches the sword. I know that. But as long as it's a possibility, I can proclaim it as much as I'd like. Right, under the circumstances, only logical conclusion. You sure? But you must know that your conclusion is wrong. Given the circumstance I'm in, the only people I can trust are my subordinates. Because they're a much more trustworthy bunch than you prosecutors will ever be. And you call yourself a professional. We're just going back and forth, Jesus. You still don't see, do you, Mr. Prosecutor? You have to earn my trust. The only way to do that is to show me the proof, or show me proof, of another possible murder weapon. Another possible murder weapon. In this room there is only one other thing left. This is going to be a gamble, but I can't withdraw from the game now. You're not going to get me to trust you by the power of your glare alone, you know. Plus I have other reasons as to why I think the samurai sword is the murder weapon. Search the embassy, top to bottom. Oh, did you? Isn't that interesting? The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword. That's right, even with luminol. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with Agent Lang's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon? I do. Of course I do. If you believe that there is no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon? I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they've concluded that nothing else could have been used as the weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course. Because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real murder weapon that killed Damask II. What exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is this. The national treasure of Alabast. You mean the Primaduc statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which I believe means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different. And there is only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba, and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He is most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please, let's be rational about this. Oh damn. Langzi says, nothing. Just go already. Yes, sir. Jesus. Shifu? Yeah. I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Primaduc statue. I see. Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I'll go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing the whole country, you know? Agent Lang, what do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. What? But Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet. I'll take the fall if I have to later. Oh, damn. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem if my men... Not for my men, if something were to happen to me. Alright then. Let's talk and more investigating. If you want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminol... What? Chemiluminescence test on the statue. Luminol test. Ah, good thinking. If the statue is the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay. Let's get the forensics team in here. Oh. Huh. Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real murder weapon that killed Damask II. Indeed. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damask II. So the charge remains. We are hardly done examining this statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. You think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. Ah, here we go. Right, boom. So... I wish I get how this works. So the top's what was used to bludgeon. The bottom is where they had a handprint. Interesting. Now what do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint. What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we got some fingerprints to analyze. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. But it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. Hey, forensics guy. I want results on these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? You got it there. Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir. Good. And? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Babalese embassy? Wait, what? The prints belong to him, to Mr. Manny Cochin, sir. But that's... What? What's going on around here? No, that's impossible. Each primitive statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babal's primitive statue. Impossible, it can't be. Oh my Christ. Things are getting interesting. Larry never once set foot on Babalese soil, so he was free to go, not set free. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an Alabastian knife in Babal. And Damask II was killed on Alabastian soil with Babal's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. Oh boy. To be continued. Alright. Jesus. Saving, of course. That was one long, chapter. Yeah, 100 minutes. Not too shabby. Oh, we're at the open-air stage. Alright. I've left the second investigation to Francisca and returned to Babal. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into Babal's statue. Mr. Edgeworth! Hey, it's Kay! Oh, damn. So, Kay, what's the situation? Oh, it's great! Investigating is so much fun! In other words, they've made absolutely no progress. We weren't goofing off, honest, sir. We've been investigating our hearts out. Very well, then. Would you care to give me an update on your investigation? Oh! We've had a really fun time, sir. I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir? You have permission to enter the Alabastian embassy, is that correct? Yep. As a local detective, I'm helping out with the investigation on both sides, sir. Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. They belong to the lady under the Pink Princess's mask. The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir? The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday. Ugh.